Hi, my name's Chris Jones. I am the Managing Director at PSC Consulting. Welcome to our Payments Innovation Series. Today we're going to be talking to Lochan Sim from Payoneer, and we're going to be talking about the convergence of marketplaces and payment orchestration. Hi, Lochan.
Hi, Chris. Good to be here. Thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about how orchestration and marketplaces are coming together. Perhaps, Lochan, you could talk us through your views on how those two kind of concepts within payments are converging.
Yeah, certainly. I think from our side, it was crystal clear the feedback that we got when Payoneer acquired Octal, the orchestration company, is the customers that we have, they're large marketplaces. They've got existing relationships with acquirers and providers, and they didn't want us to touch that, but what they wanted Payoneer to do was enter that pay-in space, but on the orchestration and the API front. So to take some of that pain point away. So a lot of customers are already familiar with having multiple payout providers and multiple pay-in providers. And what they wanted to do is they saw the benefit of Payoneer being able to disperse in multiple payout methods, almost like an orchestration layer to some extent on the payout side. They wanted that also on the pay-in side to get rid of some of that internal complexity that you're having of multiple integrations, multiple uptime stats in terms of measurement and KPIs of keeping the infrastructure up and running. And they wanted Payoneer to take a step in that area and start to own that for them.
And obviously, you're talking to relatively substantial entities who have their own technical teams that are probably moving very quickly in terms of their development cycles. I mean, they have this question about whether they should go down the build versus buy route, and how do you address that question when you hear it from clients?
Yeah, it's a really good one. I think particularly on the pay-in side of things, I don't really think until like 2020 at the earliest there's been an opportunity for them to buy on when you talk holistically about the large marketplaces. So I think a lot of them have been forced to go out and build this infrastructure themselves to say, if this transaction has this characteristic, send it here, but if this transaction has this characteristic, send it over there. And all the knock-on impacts of reconciliation, refunds, GLs, etc. However, I think now what's happening is there's a lot of chance to increase the efficiency operationally within these companies to allow them to keep that speed that they've got as they grow, whether that's in volume or number of sellers or in geographies. And as you add more providers, as your teams get bigger, things generally start to slow down. And so that build or buy topic is coming up very, very regularly now. And I think marketplaces are slightly different to the typical just B2C brand in that they do move very quick. And I think that agility is part of that business model. So when we talk about orchestration to our marketplace clients, we do notice a lot more of the discussion is around speed. It's around how quickly can I do this? How quickly can I get to a new geography? How quickly can you add a new integration? Whereas let's say a B2C brand is a bit more focused around, on the whole, is a bit more focused around optimization. So how do I get the best authorization rate in the US? Whereas it's slightly different with marketplaces.
And in terms of their ability to kind of take best of breed from the market, I mean, is that one of the other benefits of going down the buy versus the build route, that you've already dealt with many of the best of breed providers and that allows them to move at speed?
Yeah, I think there's 2 points I touch on that. Is so one of them, I think marketplaces, when you play in orchestration of marketplaces, you get a chance, I think, to have a really interesting discussion around net payment cost, because we're not impacting in that actual value chain of the payment being processed. We get to sit that side of the marketplace and say, hey, how do we get to help you reduce your or turn it positive? And the way to do that is in part by the products that the orchestration layer can bring, but also in part it's about helping the marketplaces uncover some of the products that exist out there in the market already today that they may not be able to get hold of. So we have a lot of discussions with customers who are saying, we need to move away from just one provider. We know we're at a scale now where we need multiple providers, but like, who do we talk to? What features are out there? And as a growing company, the ability to turn to an orchestration provider who's already had relationships with 100+ providers, who already sees a lot of their products, who has strategic partnerships with many of them, there's a chance for us to play that education curve and be, hang on a minute, have you heard about this product in provider A because we think it would be absolutely awesome to help you reach your goal. And maybe that's net payment costs, maybe that's geo expansion, maybe it's UX for the consumer. But definitely being able to pick a mix is a really good ability and a huge focus for the conversations we have.
Maybe just rounding up on a final question. Obviously, the concept of orchestration has been around for a little while yet, but it perhaps hasn't established itself thus far as a standard part of the payments value chain. It'd be interesting to get your views on, has it become for these large marketplaces a must-have part of that value chain, or are we still on the road in that direction?
Yeah, I think candidly, I think we're still on that road. I think because of the way payments was set up, a lot of these established marketplaces and brands today have been forced to create their own internal orchestration layer. And I think as you look forward, a lot of the reasons for that happening are being diminished. Like the fact that you can now run an orchestration layer across multiple cloud providers in multiple geos means that uptime stat, as one example, is almost non-existent. And I think as we progress, a lot more and more of those reasons for it not being, people not buying, are being reduced or removed. But it's still going to take a number of years to get there. So I think we're seeing a huge uptick in, I guess, 2019 to 2020 in terms of marketplaces coming out to orchestration providers and querying to say, is this right for me? Or is it not yet right for me? Whereas it previously, before 2019, it was like, nah, we're good. Like we don't need orchestration. We've done what we need in-house. That mindset's definitely changing. And I think as 21 progresses and we roll into 22, I think 22 is going to be the year that you start to see a massive adoption of orchestration purchased from a SaaS platform, because if people don't need to spend their time building API integrations, you don't need to spend your time managing payment pages, etc. That can all be outsourced, so you can really focus on the activities like focusing on your net payment cost or your authorization rates and taking advantage of those tools. It's a much more efficient way of doing things once you've got it. But until it's right for you, it's going to be a slow learning curve.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Lochan, for joining us today and for your fantastic insights. And we look forward to staying in touch.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.